Hey there, it's Kathy Howes with Be Creative with Kathy, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I like to do card tutorials, and I have a really cute card for you using some of the new Stampin' Up! Products. And when I say new, now it's been around for like a month and a half, but they're still new to me and in the catalogs and stuff like that. One of them we're going to be using is this cute little Easter Bunny stamp set. Now this is a bundle. It has a coordinating punch. But of course, well, I shouldn't say of course, but the punch right now is on back order. It's unorderable until like May 15th. So the punch is really cute, but we're not even going to use it today. We'll use it at another time. We're going to just stamp this little bunny here, and we'll probably, well, we are going to use this Happy Easter right here from this stamp set. And then I have fallen in love with this Thanks a bunch of carrots. I'll be honest with you, when I first saw it, I thought, what the heck are you going to do with a bunch of carrots? But it goes really well with this stamp set. Now this one is in the celebration brochure, so this one's free with the qualifying order. But there's the two stamp sets we're going to use, and I'll have those close by, so when I'm using the image, I'll show you which stamp set they came out of, just in case you're interested. Now, I have most of my card stock cut here for you, and I don't have the measurements fresh in my mind. You could go to my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. If you give me a few minutes after my video post, I'll have the link in the description below. But we're going to need a few more pieces of cardstock that I've already prepped for us, because I'm using a bunch of different dies, and it's going to be faster if I don't die cut them on the video. But anyway, so we're going to have a piece. This is Crumb Cake. That's going to be that back layer. This is the Stitched Greenery dies. See how I've already run it through there? I love this die. Look how cute it makes that paper. So I'm going to use that, and then I have, well, I think I lost it. Nope. A little tag and a little what are those called? Reinforcement circle, I think is what that's called. Anyway, from the Taylor Tags dies. Now that's cut in Very Vanilla and Crumb Cake. And then last, and certainly not least, because I've been playing with this a lot, we're using this die set in club in January and February, so I've been using this a lot. But this full basket dies, I've cut this piece here and this piece in Soft Suede and Crumb Cake. And so I just remembered, hang on, I need one more thing. Almost forgot. Okay, off to nothing like the last. I knew when I got ready I was not prepared for this video. Okay, now I have, I think, everything that I need. So let's go ahead first of all and just assemble our little basket. I'm going to take these little slats out of here. And then this is what I remembered. I have a dauber here and some Crumb Cake ink. I'm going to just shade the edges of these pieces here that are part of the basket in the front. So I'm going to just take my, whoop, that was good. Nothing like graceful on a Monday morning. But just take my little basket slats. Is that what these are called? I don't know. I'm going to just sponge them real quick with some Crumb Cake. And had I thought about it, I would have done a couple of these in advance, but I didn't think about it, so just hang on, it won't take very long. We'll get, this is the bottom of the basket there, and then one more, this is the top. And they are 3 different lengths, so you can tell which one goes where. And I'm going to just use a little bit of liquid glue to put it together. So I'm going to bring in my silicone mat here, and that way I won't get any glue on my surface. So if I lay my basket here, I'm going to just put a little bit of liquid glue on the back. I think this, nope, look, I had the wrong one. This is the longest one. I'm going to start at the top with the longest of these. Ooh, a little bit of glue goes a long way. And just slide that up to the top of my basket. And you can see, look, it's a little bit too big, but I'm going to just kind of center it there and just make it look good. Like that. So you can see it's a little bit longer than the basket, or at least the base of the basket, but it still looks okay. Then I'm going to put that bottom on. Same with him. Down here at the bottom. That liquid glue makes it so I can slide it into place and make it even on each side there. So far so good. Then let's do that middle one. Now I should have said before we started, this is a one of my card club's Sorry, I can't do two things. My stamp club, this is the card. We make 2 cards and then I send a card already made. This is the card that I already made that's in their kit. So if you're part of stamp club and you didn't want to see it, you wanted to be surprised, sorry, too late, but look away. Don't look. Okay, there's our little basket. Also, before I go on, a friend of mine sent me a picture of a card somewhat like this. Her name is Mary McCannon, and she saw it on Pinterest, YouTube, something like that. So I wished I knew who to give credit to the card. It's not my creation, but I've done a little bit of cathing to it. But thank you for the demonstrator that shared it originally. And there we go. We're going to just add that little reinforcer to our little tag. That's one of the great things about Stampin' Up! And demonstrator sharing stuff. You're never with something, you know, like, what do I do with that? You can always find something to case or copy and make stuff all the time. Okay, enough gibberish. Let's do some blending first. So on this piece, now this is another piece of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to bring in a scratch paper here and a blending brush, and let's use some Granny Apple green ink, because I don't want it just plain old vanilla. I'm going to just add some color on there. I'm going to tap off here to try to get some of that color off, and then I'm going to just put some color down the center here of my cardstock. And it doesn't take much, and look, I think just like that, and I'm happy. Leave that green out, we'll need that next. Okay, let's do some stamping now. I'm going to start with the inside of the card. This is, like I said, a Very Vanilla card base, so it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. There again, you can find all the measurements, scoring marks, all that on my blog, BeCreativeWithKathy.com. But I'm going to stamp that long carrot, this big carrot right here that's in the stamp set, in some pumpkin pie. I guess I can put my green away. Let's get that pumpkin pie out. Here. And I have more success when I stamp what I'd call the darker image first. And I want these to be really subtle, so really I'm going to stamp them in the same color, but I'm going to start with this that gives that, I guess you'd say it gives the carrot some character. Here, I'm going to, oh, where's my pad? Here it is. I always suggest when you use a photopolymer stamp set that you use that pad to give it that little cushion. This is the Stampin' Pierce mat. But I'm going to just take there, try to get it straight, and I'm stamping down here at the bottom, so I try not to get my head in the camera, and I can still line up my carrot. I like to let my stamp sit on my paper for a little while, let that ink sink in, but then look how nice, you get a really nice image when you have patience and you do it like that. So then that solid carrot, I'm going to ink him up, and I'm going to just full strength, I'm not going to stamp him off. I want those little stripes, I guess you'd call it, on my carrot to be very subtle. And line those up, see how I did, without getting my head in the camera. Was my head in the camera? Oh well. Let that ink sink in again. And I'm even going to put the orange away. We'll bring that pumpkin pie back out. But there we go. Now I need to find just a little scrap of paper. This will work. I'm going to cover up the top of that carrot, because now using this stem here and that Granny Apple green, I'm going to give my carrot some topping, some green topping, but I don't want that green stem to go into my carrot. I hope that makes sense. Well, you'll see what I'm talking about when I'm done. So the scrap paper is covering the top of my carrot, and I'm going to just come along like this and then stamp that, let that ink sink into my paper. But the stem is on the scratch paper, so when you remove it, you get that nice little stem just going into the carrot. Okay, let's finish up the inside with that Happy Easter. Now that is from the Bunny stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that in some early espresso. Just take it here, hold it down, let that ink sink in, and looky, there we go. So far so good. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, let that dry and all that good stuff, and let's bring in that little tag that I punch or die cut, and that little hello. Now the little hello again is from the carrot stamp set. But with that early espresso ink, oops, it's upside down, I'm going to just stamp that little hey there, right there in the center of my tag. I'm not applying a lot of pressure. I don't want to smash those fine line images, but look how cute that is. Here, set that aside, and now let's do the meat of our stamping. Now we're going to just use all these little carrots. I have a scrap here, and this is shimmer white. And now we can always use shimmer white on our cards, but I'm using shimmer white because I'm going to do just a little bit of blending to try to fill in those carrots, and I'll show you in a second what I'm talking about. So I wanted a cardstock that was a little thicker that could handle when I use my blender pen. But I'm going to start with the pumpkin pie here, and I need 3 each of this little carrot here and this little bunch of carrots right here for my card. So quickly I'm going to just go 1. This is a nice solid image, so I'm going to let that ink sink in really good. And I'm going to give it some room because we're going to add a carrot top up there at the top, and I want to make sure I give him room for that greenery at the top. There's those. Oops, no, let's not put that away. Let's do these little carrots down here first. And we'll just keep going 1. Now I'm worried that I've stamped them too far apart, and I won't have room for all of them, but I'm pretty sure I will. There we go. Now we have 6 of our little carrot images. Now I'm going to bring in that granny apple green and just stamp the same greenery here at the top of each of them. And now I've made a lot of these cards. Like I said, this was a card that I used for my stamp club. So when I ink up my stamp, I'm going not straight in the middle. Usually when you stamp or ink up your ink pad, let me start over. Usually when you ink up your stamp, you go straight down to the center. So after you've stamped a couple, I try to go along the edges of my ink pad, and then that way my color's still dark. I hope that made sense. Now when I stamp this little image onto my carrot, I'm making sure that the carrot top actually touches the carrot, because what I would do now is I would run this with my, sorry, I can't stamp and talk. Well, I can. Well, anyway, with my Brother Scan and Cut, I'm going to cut these out, and the Brother Scan and Cut does not like it. It would try to cut out the tops and the bottoms separate if it didn't touch. Looky there, and I'm doing a pretty good job. I have to tell you, I'm pretty happy with myself. So there's my little carrots. Now we need 2 of these leafuses, these leaves right here. Another solid image, so I'm going to make sure I get it inked up really good, and then I'm going to just set it, nope, you know, I'm going to put it up here so I have room over there for my bunny. Let that ink sink in. That looks pretty good. I might need to re-ink my Granny Apple Green a little bit, but let's see if that's everything. Yep, and now we just need that little bunny there. Make sure I've used all my stamps over here. I think I have. And then my little bunny, I'm going to just go with that early espresso again. Look how cute. He is so stinking cute, this little bunny is. There we go. Now, if you're familiar with the Brother Scan and Cut, you know that the Brother Scan and Cut will not like, and let me see if I can find a pokey tool so I show you what I'm talking about. These little pieces right here. See how it doesn't connect? I don't know. It maybe because it's so small the Brother Scan and Cut wouldn't see that, but sometimes he would try to cut in between those pieces. So if you ever have that problem, let me show you. I'm going to take a blender pen, and while I add it, I'm going to take out my Melon Mumbo pencil here because I'm going to color my bunny's ears and toes with that. But my blender pen here, I'm going to just take and let's make sure it's clean first just in case. Take a scratch piece of paper. Yep, it's clean. I don't know if you can see that there's actually a liquid in here. I have no idea what it is, but you can use that to color your carrots. Now it does take some of that you know, characteristic, I guess, away, but it just lightens it. And this way, if when I have my Brother Scan and Cut it out, I won't have any trouble with my Brother Scan and Cut not seeing that as a solid image. And I guess you'd have to have a Brother Scan and Cut to understand what I'm talking about, but for those of you that do, there you go. And do I suggest you have a Brother Scan and Cut? I don't know. I absolutely love mine. I even like to fussy cut, but I use my Brother Scan and Cut when I'm going to make multiple cards, or when you have something. To me, trying to fussy cut around those little greenery would be a nightmare, so he can do it for me. But like I said, when you fill in your carrots like this, it just helps him to see things a little better. And I don't know why I call it a him. It's a machine. Maybe because he's my brother. Okay, then since I did my carrots that way, I'm going to clean my brush here, try to get that orange out of there, and then do the same thing so my leaf and my carrots are kind of matching. It wouldn't matter. The Brother Scan and Cut wouldn't struggle with this one because it's really a nice outline on it, but I guess I want them to kind of match. And it kind of makes it a brighter green. Look how bright the green is now. Okay, let me clean my blender brush here real quick, just on a clean surface back and forth until it's clear and doesn't have any color on it. And then, like I said, I'm going to use that colored pencil here and just color in my bunny's ears. And since this is such a small area, I could take my blender pen and just blend that colored pencil in, but I'm not even going to worry about it. And I don't think I need to color my bunny's feet because it won't show past the basket, but I can't help it. So there's my stamping for that. Let me put all of this away now. And then, like I said, I would take this over to my Brother Scan and Cut and have him cut everything out, and then by the miracle of TV, it would look like this. I'd have my little carrots all cut out. I should have all my pieces. Oh, and you know what I don't have here are my leaves. We might not have leaves on this card because now what did I do with my extra little pieces and parts? We'll see if I can find them. I had them all laid out and then I forgot my leaves. Doggone it. Okay, let's go ahead and start. We're going to start with this little piece here. I'm going to take mini dimensionals and just put them on the back of my basket here. And I'm going to kind of stay on the inside of my basket so that it doesn't get in the way when I tuck my carrots underneath. So about like that. Take all those little backs off of there. And it just dawned on me, boy, I'm really out of whack today. I need to put my little bunny down there first. So let me take my bunny and I'm going to just use some Stampin' Seal and place him right up here in the corner on top of that green right there. Okay, then we put our little bunny. Now I've noticed that if I take this corner and put it on his foot and kind of lean it this way, it works out just perfect. So that's where I put my, I keep looking around thinking I'm gonna find those little leaves that I cut and did not put with my other bunny pieces. And I know they're right here. As soon as I'm done with the video, I'm gonna find them and I'm gonna be like, darn it, there they are. But I'll just leave it blank. You'll have to imagine, because next I would put these two little leaves right here under my basket. I would tuck those under down here, and then I'm going to take these two longer carrots here. Now on one of them, I'm going to take and put, well, really I'm going to put a dimensional here at the top of both of them, and then one of them I'm going to cut just a little piece of dimensional and put it down at the bottom so this will hold my carrot nice and secure. Take those off. And then I'm going to just lay this down here with that dimensional on the card down here at the bottom. Now on this one, normally I would take that dimensional off, I would lay it on top of my leaves, but I'm going to hang on and think I'm not going to take that backing off, and that way when I do find my leaf I can finish my card. A little bit embarrassing, but a little bit of green glue up here at the tip. I'm going to lay that right here on top of that other carrot, and then like I said, I'll take the dimensional off there when I find, or the dimensional backing off of there when I find the other ones. Now on some of my cards, I laid all my little carrots flat. on some of my cards. I bumped them up. I couldn't decide which way I liked it, so I just did a variety. That's the fun thing of making your own card, is you can do whatever you want. This one, I think I'm in bump up mode or dimensional mode, so I'm going to put a dimensional here on the big part of my carrot, a little bit of liquid glue here on the bottom of my carrot, and then I'm going to slide this into the middle of my bucket, avoiding those dimensionals that I put down there before, like that. Set it there. I think I'm going to put this one, do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to put a dimensional up here. I'm not going to worry about the bottom because this is going to slide over the other carrot here, but I'm going to just slide him in like that. And then this one, I think I'll just put him flat. And then slide him right there. So now we have all of our little carrots on there. Look how cute. Alrighty. Let's take this piece of crumb cake now and some linen thread, which I absolutely love this linen thread. Although look there, we now have a mess down here at the end. Does that figure? Only on video, Kathy, only on video. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie a bow around this here if I can without getting it all tangled. There we go. Should have been more careful. It's a brand new roll, and let me tell you, it's full. Okay, so I'm going to take this and just tie a simple knot. I want to make sure that my bow is over here to the right and that it's pretty much centered. Now, since I've already run this through the die cut machine with all those stitches, it might be a little bit fragile, so I'm going to be a little bit gentle with it. I'm going to hold my knot down here with my reverse tweezers, and that'll give me both of my hands now to tie my bow and deal with my mess over here. What do they call that in fly fishing or fishing when you have a huge net like that? Some kind of nest, right? Oh well. Okay, I'm gonna take and just trim that. See how my bow turned out, which is really, really curly. Make it a little smaller, about like that. Now I do love the curls on my tails like that. I think this knot up here is a little top. Now if this isn't tight enough, if you're not happy with how this turns out, all you have to do is turn that over and put a little bit, in fact I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to take just some regular old Scotch tape and pull this tight, and use, now remember this is the back so no one's going to see it, and then pull this a little bit tight, and then put some Scotch tape on there, and now look, the front looks really nice. It's not even too tight that it's actually tearing my cardstock, but it still looks a little bit more, well, it looks more put together, more firm than what it was before. Okay, let's trim these down a little bit. Now, if you noticed, I haven't put my tag on there, and this was a little mistake that I made while I was making my swaps, and I thought it turned out easier this way, so I went ahead and did it with all of them. So I took my tag here now, and I'm going to just take my paper snips and make a really small slit here at the top of the tag, and then I'm going to just tuck that in like that. And really, after you put it back together, and I kind of want this under, there we go, under, oh, you know what, yeah, under my knot. I have to put it on the other side. I'm going to go this route. I don't know why it made a difference, but it sure did. There, now it's under my knot like that. I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. And then place this right under there, a little bit closer to the left and centered top to bottom. Try to get it straight there. There we go. Why not on top? Now, if you needed to help this to stay where you want it, you could put a simple glue dot down here in the corner or such, but I like it kind of loose like that. I'm going to leave it just the way it is. Then with a really heavy tape or a strong tape, I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm going to just put a little bit of adhesive here on the back, and then take that and put it right here on the front of our card. And look how cute that is. Just like that. Now, if I could only find my leaves, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go look for my leaves and clean up a bit. That's what I have for you. I hope you liked my card today. Hey, happy Valentine's Day tomorrow. I thought I should do a Valentine, but, well, Easter was here. So there you go. Alrighty, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you back here next Monday. If you need the measurements again, they're all on my blog, with a list of products is on there too. Thanks again for watching. Have a great week. Bye-bye.